What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for today, and listen, I gotta confess before we get started, I made a boo-boo, okay? Last week I made a video where I compared Gary's Den Le Parfum from the House of FOMO to Dior Homme Intense. Now, you can definitely make a comparison video of the two. However, the general consensus of the public is that this fragrance is actually chasing after the DNA of Dior Homme Parfum. I did not know Dior Homme Parfum existed. I thought it was just Dior Homme Intense and Dior Homme Sport. I'm an idiot. I should have known due to the Intense that there's probably an OG, which is the Parfum. Now, I meant to do a video comparing Gary's Den to the Parfum, but I didn't know that it existed. So I thought this fragrance was trying to copy Intense, and it is not. Even though Intense and Parfum of Dior are very close, there's some clear differences in terms of the style of iris being used. One's more powdery and cakey and lipsticky, and one is what people refer to more as the dusty iris. So I'm going to make amends and remove that video so I can do it properly. I'm going to do a separate review of Intense, Parfum, and then Gary's Den. And then later on, I'm going to do a three-way video where I kind of properly compare Gary's Den to the Parfum and then show the subtle nuances of how that compares in relativity to Intense. So I've got a little bit of cleanup to do, and we're going to do it today. Without further ado, welcome to the Scent Bubble. Let's run that intro. Okay, like I said before, guys, thank you so much for rocking with me. You are in the Scent Bubble. Now let's get it into part one of probably a 3 to 4 part series. This video right now is going to be brief, and we are going to be talking about Dior Homme Intense. And I want to review this fragrance separately because I have it. Now, this video is for is for iris lovers. This is a very iris lavender forward fragrance, and there's some controversy in terms of its use case because not only do you have to, I would say, like iris to like this fragrance, but even if you do like iris, it might not have good use case the younger you are because generally, and this is just my own opinion, I've found that younger men don't really rock floral forward fragrances, if that makes sense. They're more into sweet, candy, sometimes gourmand, not necessarily, mostly like just sweet, fruity, and citrusy, freshy type fragrances, and not necessarily mess with the florals. You know, it's mostly the older men crowd. I'm 35, but when I say older men, I'm referring to like maybe late 20s and up who start rocking with things like rose and iris and white florals and just different notes that kind of, you know, I find that personally, the older I get, I like sweet, but I like mysterious, tucked in the back sweet. I don't like super forward sweet, synthetic, or, you know, authentic. Either one. I don't like super sweet forward fragrances. That doesn't really speak to who I am as a person. And I find that super sweet fragrances lack maturity to me. But again, to each his own. Fragrance is a form of expression. It's a conversation starter. It's a vibe creator. It's a bottle of opportunity. And so you rock your fragrances how you want. But I know for me, I don't find that a lot of young men really rock with iris. But this, if you do rock with iris and lavender, this fragrance is one of one. You can't replicate what they have done here without completely stealing the formula, in my opinion. We're going to talk today about Dior Homme Intense, and I want to just go straight to the note breakdown because we're already 5 minutes in, and I want to just speak quickly to this fragrance. It is amazing. Again, it is a niche fragrance in terms of, not a niche house, but niche accords, because you have to like iris. This is so iris forward. It's got a good chunk of lavender in there, but again, mostly that iris. As you can see here, iris, woody, powdery, earthy, violet, blah, 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 blah. This whole thing is not a good representation in my opinion, so just ignore that. We have lavender up top. You certainly get that, but caked all in and out of this fragrance. It is iris, 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 and iris. So I would say from the opening to the dry down, you're getting lavender and iris. The pear might be just elevating the sweetness of the floral aspect there, and the ambrit is more like animalic, which I don't really get a whiff of animalic to this, to be honest. And then it's sitting on the woods and the root there with the vetiver and the cedar. And I think that those are more acting as, you know, I've sprayed it on my wrist already and on a test strip. I feel like the woods kind of just sit and give the iris, you know, because a lot of times with florals, they can smell light, crispy, and airy and earthy. And so I feel like what the cedar and vetiver is doing here is just providing a backbone so that the powder is even more powdery. The lavender is even more lavendery. The iris is even more irisy. And it's just creating a thickness to the fragrance. And so I think between the wood sitting in the backdrop, how powdery this fragrance is, and just how iris and lavender naturally smell in terms of their density, it really has crazy projection. It's a dense fragrance, though it does have light aspects because it's floral. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, and I think this fragrance is absolutely amazing. And I again, just to go through a couple of things. The official, let's see, we've gone over initial thoughts on the fragrance, just super forward, lavender, iris, powdery, floral. The price, this fragrance is expensive. And I've heard that there is a Middle Eastern fragrance. I think Aromatics covers it and a few other guys cover it. There are a couple of, I think one or two alternative fragrances that chase this DNA and are very, very close to it. So I would say if you want to dabble with this, definitely get a sample of the OG so you just know what your nose should be expecting from such a classic DNA. But then check out Aromatics channel or one of these guys and see the alternatives. I do think there is a fire alternative that's in the 90 plus percentile category for matching this DNA if you don't want to spend north of $100 to $150 on a fragrance because you know, you might not be such a lover of iris that you want to just be dropping that kind of money on 100 ml or whatever it comes as. But there are definitely alternative options for you guys out there. Again, the actual price point 100 to 150, I believe. And then the alternatives are between 20 and 35 bucks on discounter online stores. So definitely look into those. Just type Dior Homme Intense alternatives or dupes or whatever you guys normally do, and you'll certainly find it. What else? Occasions. I hate saying what climate certain fragrances are unless it's just super clear and cut. But I would find this to be something that in colder weather or chilly weather, this would really shine, certainly in colder weather. Again, this is sweet, powdery floral. So I feel like indoors, cold weather, those type of vibes are where this would really shine. I would definitely not rock this in hot and high heat environments. But certainly chill indoors, brisk, airy, cool weather vibes. This is going to really be a signature scent for you. Projection, it projects very well. 4 to 6 sprays is going to be perfectly fine to create your scent bubble, to have beautiful sillage, and to probably leave a trail in the room. Longevity is up there as well, 6 to 8 hours plus. If you cake on more than 8 sprays, you're probably going to go the whole day. This is definitely, I wouldn't quite go as far as to call this beast mode, but it certainly can fill a room depending on the amount of sprays that you do. And in terms of beast mode rateability, I would give it like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. So certainly projects, certainly has longevity. You will smell it on your clothes the next day, that kind of lipstick powdery vibe. But the iris note is just so masterfully done here. Again, I think for age, you really, if you rock this under 25, I don't even think you can just freestyle rock this if you're under 25. I think not only do you have to be the right type of person, but you have to know that this is like a cold weather vibe. It has to be the right occasion. This is not like a loosey-goosey type fragrance. Very intentional. It can be a complete mood changer, a vibe maker, and just has so much sillage and scent trail that a very particular person has to pick this if they're under 25, in my opinion. Otherwise, do you, boo boo. But anyways, guys, definitely check out Dior Homme Intense. It is a fire fragrance. If anyone was asking what's better, Dior Homme Intense or Parfum, I will certainly let you know. Again, I don't have possession of the Parfum at the current moment. I have the Intense and I have Gary's Den. So if the original is anything like Gary's Den, it will also be another masterful scent. It'll just depend on how you want to rock the iris, because the iris is the main difference in terms of how it's dressed up in the Parfum versus the Intense. But Intense is definitely amazing. I think this was the 2011 one that I was reviewing. Get this in your life, guys. I don't care if it's a sample. I don't care if it's a dupe. Definitely get the sample so you can, hear it from the horse's mouth and get the original DNA. But then make your decision as to whether or not you want to get the OG big bottle or go into an alternative just to have something in that category around. Because when it comes to iris and lavender, nobody does it better, I believe, than Dior Homme. But definitely get that fragrance in your life. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Again, on the next video, I'm going to go over Gary's Den. And then in the future, we're going to kind of collaborate all the fragrances to say what I like and don't like about each of them, occasions, different things like that. But I appreciate you guys for rocking with me in the scent bubble. Again, interact with me. I'm just telling you guys my fragrance journey, and I would love to hear about where you are in yours. And I hope videos like these further inform your decision making on your path so that you can have a great relationship with your fragrances as you build your collection. Again, I'm your host for the evening. Hope you'll have a blessed night, and I will see y'all on the flip side. Talk to you soon.